Mr. Panda, thanks a lot for your time. My first question to you is this. Now, the BJP is calling what Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, has been doing by continuing in his position as unconstitutional. Today, a PIL was dismissed by court saying that they cannot intervene. There is no bar on him running the government from jail. And Aam Aadmi Party also insists that that is the case.
First of all, let's be clear about something. Before Mr. Kejriwal was arrested, several of his senior colleagues have been arrested over the past year and a half. And every time they have raised this same bogey that it's political vendetta, when the reality is that there is credible prima facie evidence as a result of which courts have not granted relief to Sri Sisodia and others. Now, the same thing we are seeing a replay where today Sri Kejriwal has again alleged political vendetta, whereas the reality is, of course, the BJP has a right to demand the resignation of a chief minister when there is such a massive corruption, when very many people have been arrested because of the evidence that has been procured, because of the money trails that have been discovered, and because of the evidentiary statements given by witnesses who have turned state's approval. So in this context, I'm not going to comment on courts giving relief or not giving relief, but it's totally impractical and unethical for somebody who is in incarceration to try and run the government. It's simply not done. Even when earlier chief ministers had been jailed and sentenced, convicted, they tried to install their wives and they tried to install, other colleagues to try to manage the show. But nobody has ever tried to run a government from jail. Okay. Now, people who are incarcerated have certain restrictions. They are not free to move outside. Others are only allowed to meet them for legal requirements, like their lawyer. Now, how do you arrange for government files to go to a jail? How do you maintain the secrecy required? Because in government, people who handle files have to take oath of secrecy. Now, in jail, it's a very different situation. Jail is filled with people who have violated all kinds of laws. You can't have government files floating around in the middle of all of that.
Okay.
It's totally unethical and impractical.
No, but some people are suggesting that the Lieutenant Governor has not intervened in this matter so far, even if he may have the power to, for example, dismiss the government or ask for a president's rule, because somehow even the BJP feels there could be a backlash if they are seen as dismissing Arvind Kejriwal's government.
The Lieutenant Governor has been extremely proactive and he is seen in the forefront, right on the ground, everywhere that the Delhi government needs a senior presence. You have seen this throughout his tenure, and he has been very scrupulously and very conscientiously carrying out his duties. Now, I don't want to second guess him. The LG has certain powers, the government has certain powers. Whether and how those powers are going to be exercised will depend on a careful scrutiny of all of that. Now, I represent the party, the BJP. Now, the government has to take its own view based on precedents and legal requirements. But the BJP as a party, all our lakhs of karyakartas on the ground are outraged that this man, who has repeatedly cheated the people of Delhi, continues to try and run government in violating all these rules of secrecy, of oaths, of how government is to be run. So that is what we are very concerned about. You cannot have government files floating around outside of secure premises where all the people concerned are bound by that oath of secrecy.
Yeah,
this is not how government is to be run.
As of now, we don't even know if any kind of access to such files will be given to Arvind Kejriwal. That's not part of jail manuals. But I have been wanting to ask you this, Jay Panda, because you're Delhi in charge of the BJP and, you have tough battles in the state elections, etc. What would you say to those who feel arresting Arvind Kejriwal so close to the general elections, and Delhi elections happened very soon after that, could actually backfire? Because whatever said and done, he won multiple mandates, and this could be seen as opposition claims, high-handedness of the agencies against political opponents. In other words, you could end up giving him sympathy.
Actually, this is the narrative that Mr. Kejriwal is trying to manufacture. Let's not fall into that narrative, because he has been getting summons for many, many months, long before the election schedule was announced. And he has been blatantly avoiding those summons. And this for a man who made his career on the so-called India Against Corruption campaign. When he is on record, there are many videos of him out there, and I encourage you to show those videos to your viewers, where he has said that given a chance, all these corrupt netas should be incarcerated very quickly. And exactly the same thing, his own advice has been taken against him. So by avoiding summons for many months until elections are announced, and then trying to play the victim card, saying that elections are here and trying to appeal for sympathy, it doesn't work. I think the people of Delhi have seen the true nature of this person and his party. This is a person who claimed he would only operate from a 2-bedroom flat in the name of austerity. And he spent something like 180 crores of government money to build himself a massive palace. He will be thrown out of his sheesh mahal. But there is a process that the law takes, and the law is taking its own process. We in the BJP, our Karyakartas on the ground, are rightly agitating that what he is trying to do is totally violative of the constitution, and the people of Delhi have had enough of him.
My final question to you, the Aam Aadmi Party has been raising the link of one of the accused turn approvers, Mr. Reddy, and his associated firms giving 50 crore rupees or up to that to BJP as bonds. And that happened after his arrest, and subsequently he got bail. Can you respond to that charge? Because even Arvind Kejriwal today made exactly these arguments that this whole approver business is, has more than meets the eye.
Well, as you know, many people involved in the liquor business have been involved in this scam, and they have turned approver. And not all of them are alleged to be making donations or any such thing. So the reality is the law has a provision for people who are involved in crimes, for some of them to take an approver status so that bigger culprits can be then prosecuted properly. Now, it's not just one or two. There are many, many approvers who have provided the evidence that is necessary. Now, any such accusation that he makes has to be made to the courts. The reality is the courts have not given the exact similar accusations have been made over the course of last 1.5 years in trying to spin the narrative when other senior colleagues of the Chief Minister of Delhi were arrested. Same attempt is being made. This is replay. People have seen this game before. This movie has been seen before. It's not going to work. The reality is that the courts work as per legal procedures, as per legal requirements. And if there is evidence that any approver has provided, that evidence has to be taken on its merit. And he can't get away by making wild allegations.
Okay, I do thank you, Jay Panda, for joining us. We'll have to wait and see exactly how this transpires. But of course, a big battle coming up both legally and politically in the national capital.